Hello, everyone. I'm Sean.
This is Hoon.
We are the Courageour Frights, back once again for another movie review. This
Yes.
time we are covering Send Help,
Yes, Send Help.
which is Sam Raimi's latest sort of kind of horror thriller.
Yeah, they say dark comedy horror film.
Okay. So this is a movie. It's actually got a trailer in, I think, every movie we've seen in the theater for like the last 3 months. But in case you haven't seen the trailer or you haven't heard of this movie, it's a story about a woman at an office place played by Rachel McAdams, who is kind of like that eager to please, almost annoying coworker that doesn't know when to be quiet and overshares everything. And she was basically promised by the CEO of her company that she would end up becoming vice president because she's really good at the books and numbers and everything. So she's a legitimately fantastic asset to the company. And then he passes away and his son takes over, and it's the typical situation where you have like the spoiled brat son takes over the company, doesn't really understand how anything works, and he just brings in his own buddies to take all the upper management positions. And so he basically just sweeps her aside, puts in his buddy from school or whatever as vice president, and he actually plans on getting rid of her because he like can't stand her.
Yeah.
And
He's like, I need her to be moved her desk somewhere else.
Right.
The boiler room.
Yeah. Preferably a different building.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the setup for it. And then what happens is they're supposed to do a merger deal or something with a company in Thailand, and they need her services to get it done because a bunch of idiots don't know what's going on. So they decide that they're going to go on a trip to Thailand to meet with the company, and they decide that they'll bring her on board, but this is going to be the last time with her. The plan is to get her to do everything, and then they're just going to fire her after they're done. But a little tidbit of information about her is that becomes important later on is that she's a huge fan of the show Survivor.
Yeah.
And has made an audition tape and everything else for it and knows everything there is to know about survival in the wilderness. And wouldn't you know it, the plane goes down en route and the only survivor is her and her boss, which of course they hate each other.
The CEO.
Yeah. And so they have to survive on this island together. Who knows how long. Things take a dark turn towards the end of the movie. There's actually a pretty decent plot twist in there. And I personally, I mean, it's got that Sam Raimi touch. There's a few things in there that if you like Sam Raimi, you'll probably like this movie.
Yeah.
If you don't like Sam Raimi or you're not familiar with his style, there's a few things you might be put off by or confused by his choices. We'll get into that, I guess, in a little bit. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I am a Sam Raimi fan from way back. I think most of us horror fans are. I think almost all of us pretty much grew up with Evil Dead or whatever.
Yeah.
So we recognize his style.
Yeah.
And so I think this was a pretty well done thriller with some decent comedy elements in there. If you're talking dark comedy. Rachel McAdams is obviously the standout.
Yeah, she plays I don't know, it's like a crazy girl, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like not really crazy, but
no, I mean,
I don't know what they call. I don't know what it's called.
Like I said, it's like the coworker that overshares, and like I have a coworker that I work with on occasion at one of the places that I work at, and she's like this but times 10.
Yeah.
Like normally you say that movies are exaggerations of real life, but if you took the character from the beginning of this and then ramped her up to an 11, and you get the person that I work with. Yeah. And she's obviously neurodivergent in some way, so like she can't really help the way she acts about certain things or whatever, but it does get on your nerves after a while. And like I'm kind of that way too. Like I'd say I'm also socially awkward, but in my work situation, I just don't talk to people. Yeah. So like that's pretty much how I do it. So I guess if you're socially awkward, you're either gonna not talk to people at all or you're gonna over talk. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I saw happening with this character. Which I think she did a really good job here conveying that. The only thing here that they do in Hollywood movies is they like to take somebody who's obviously attractive and then try to gaslight you into thinking she's not.
Yeah.
And that's what they did here, where it's just like, oh, we'll mess up her hair and have her not wear makeup.
Yeah.
There you wear like granny clothes
Yeah.
or something, and then all of a sudden you're supposed to realize that she's not attractive at all, but they kind of fail at a couple points.
Yeah. That is
Doesn't
true.
really work. Somehow she gets way more attractive when she's on an island stranded by herself for
I think she's
weeks on end.
Stress isn't there anymore.
Doesn't make that much sense, but okay.
Yeah. Especially when you're like in the sun all day long. You'd be
Right.
Like, you'd pretty much like shrivel up like a prune at this point. But she was like making her own like sunblock or something.
She knew how to do like everything.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of interesting. There's a couple things I have a problem with, but like I said, it's Sam Raimi and he always suspends disbelief.
Yeah, especially something like this.
So I think that's the general premise. If that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
Yeah. Seeing about emotional manipulation.
Yes.
In both ways, I guess you could say.
Right. So I guess this is gonna be semi-spoilery here. So I think if you want to avoid spoilers, just go check out the movie.
Yes.
I think it's a recommendation from Courageour Frights, as are most Sam Raimi films.
Yeah.
So I guess going into the bit of the spoiler territory here, I really liked how, I don't want to go to full spoilers, but I just want to say I liked how they made everything kind of morally ambiguous.
Yeah. They
So
definitely do.
It seems like when you watch the trailer and when you go into this movie, it seems like you're going to root for Linda, which may or may not be a nod to Sam Raimi as well anyway, because if you're an Evil Dead fan, you realize that Ash's girlfriends are all named Linda. So I don't know if that was intentional or not, but your female lead in this is Linda. And it turns out that the CEO, the dad that owned the company who passed away off screen, is Bruce Campbell, because there's a portrait of him in the office at one point. So there's definitely some Evil Dead nods. There's also an Evil Dead nod big time later in the film when she has like a nightmare sequence.
That's definitely looked like a Deadite or something.
Yeah, it was like Evil Dead or possibly Drag Me to Hell inspired. Otherwise, there's no supernatural stuff.
Yeah, because this more like down to earth.
Right.
More realistic.
But not to say we don't get over the top Sam Raimi isms. So like what I was going to say before I got off track was that neither character is morally good all the way through.
Yeah.
They both do things that are less than admirable.
Yeah.
So, but Linda is more or less justified in why she does what she does. She just does things that towards the end that there's really no justification for.
Yeah.
But that's kind of gets into some spoilers there.
Yeah.
But another thing, if you're Sam Raimi fan, you're going to expect over-the-top gratuitous gore. And one thing you know he's going to do is there's going to be a scene where somebody vomits in somebody's face.
Yeah.
And you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, it does that here. Multiple times.
I thought we were going to get off the hook on it because there's a scene with a boar that I know other reviewers have talked about.
Yeah.
Some of the other people that have reviewed this movie, they all say you'll know it when you see it, but the boar scene is something that they mention all the time. There's a scene where she stabs a boar and it's just like spitting blood all over, and then it's launching snot out of its nose at her at the same time, and it's just like, okay, so that's going to be the vomit scene.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, there's another one later on.
One later on.
So you got to have that out of the way. And I think at some point during a fight scene, she gets like her face shoved into like a pile of dung or something.
Yeah, I know
what that was. So like,
I don't know if it was dirt or dung. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go with the latter.
Yeah.
Considering Sam Raimi, if you've seen Ash vs. Evil Dead, they go to some wild places. So there's that. So if you're not looking for gross out, I mean, it's not extreme.
No, it just shows in the certain scenes. It's not very much.
No, but it is kind of Sam Raimi's staple hallmark stuff.
I mean, he did hold back a little bit at the very end there.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's like the golfing thing.
Oh, yeah.
It could have showed it, but it didn't.
Yeah, like I said, it's restrained.
Yeah, he held back a little bit.
Right. It's not his craziest stuff by far.
So this is very realistic compared to like...
Yeah, it's still a little cartoony. I mean, there's a point where the one character eats a blue-ringed octopus.
Yeah.
And they're like, the other one's like, oh no, it'll be fine. Like, you're going to be paralyzed, but it'll wear off. I'm fairly certain that if you ate a whole blue-ringed octopus, you would not be fine.
No, he like just chewed that thing up like it was nothing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you even touch that, you could have paralysis.
And she said she caught that a week ago.
Yeah.
So she touched it with her hands.
Oh, she probably didn't.
Oh, I guess maybe with the...
Probably speared it or something.
Did something with it.
Or it washed ashore or something like that. So, like, that was the one thing that I thought was kind of ridiculous. The boar scene's over the top.
Yeah, that one's definitely an over top scene.
The blue-ringed octopus thing's kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I was okay with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Castaway type of thing. Yeah. Whatever that one movie was.
Right. Wilson!
Yeah, Wilson!
So, is there anything you want to say about...
yeah, this is, like I said, it's a pretty standard movie. I mean... Like I said, it's Sam Raimi. I guess we're going through it again, but yeah, if you like Sam Raimi, you'll probably like this one. I always liked the cinematography in this, so. But this
he didn't do any of his extreme camera angle stuff.
Like, occasionally he'll do it, but it's not like to the.
No, there was a little bit.
I think he did it more, maybe even in Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
actually,
yeah, for sure.
Doctor Strange had more of the.
The
camera angles that you would normally see with Sam Raimi.
Right. Which I believe Rachel McAdams is in Doctor Strange as well. Yeah. So that's probably where they worked. I think they might have worked in one other film at some point. But so I would say check it out if you're a fan of Sam Raimi or this type of film. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I mean, unless you're going for a fully serious realistic survival thing, then which this is almost that.
Yeah, almost, but it's not the same.
A little stylized.
Yeah.
But it's one of Sam Raimi's more grounded.
Yeah. I don't know, has he done a lot of these type of movies before? I don't know.
Well, I mean, this would still probably fit into his horror stuff. He's actually not done a lot of horror.
Yeah.
Despite being considered like a staple horror guy. He's done pretty much Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And all his stuff has a horror tinge to it, but it's not like even the Spider-Man movies and stuff have something in there that is like almost horror. But everything's almost like horror adjacent with him. Yeah. Like he's only ever done Evil Dead and I think Drag Me to Hell and this. And this might even be questionably horror.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely more yeah, I don't know. Was this being considered horror? I don't know.
It's horror, but it's more of like a thriller or something.
Yeah.
So
I like thinking like, is this really horror? I guess there like it has like the Deadite scene, so I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
maybe I guess the dread that you have on an island with someone that.
Right. It just depends on what your definition of horror is. A lot of people don't seem to think anything's horror.
Yeah. So, which has a monster in it.
Is always a problem, even if there's a monster.
They don't think that's a horror.
They don't think anything's horror.
Oh, gosh,
I've heard people. Almost every horror movie that's ever existed, somebody's like, "That's not really horror."
Like, then what's horror then?
I personally wasn't scared, so therefore it's not horror. So in that case, whatever. I mean, this could be considered a horror film. There's a fine line between thriller anyway.
Yeah, because I guess you're in a situation like that. It could be pretty horrifying.
Yeah. I mean, almost anything that's a thriller could also be considered a horror film.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for our review of Send Help. Said, go check it out. We recommend it.
Yes.
So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more like this in the future, and you too could feel the strength welling within. See ya.